Alright, today we are going to, I think it's this car right here. We're gonna go ahead and check this one out. We're gonna go Hillside Toyota. Just gotta find parking. So I'm here in a Hillside, and they have one of these 2025 Siennas. This is sold. This is sold, but it looks good. This is in the windshield pearl color, the same white that's been going around. They're nice enough to just open the door and let me check it out, but everything is the same inside. The leather part is the same as the XSE 25th anniversary, but here you go. Here's the differences. This is the new wood grain. Definitely a much more glossier finish. Everything else is the same. I believe they swapped around the charging ports, or they don't have the covers, and they're all USB-C now. All USB-C under here. Overall, nothing has changed, but once you get in, it's obvious. It's very obvious that this part is very smoothed out. No more grooves, no more rubber grips. And the infotainment system, definitely, that one's different. And the digital cluster. And overall, the steering wheel is the same thing. Interior is the same thing. I think that used to be blue. Now that's black. It used to be blue. Stitching here is brown for the limited. Stitching here. But overall, everything is the same. This one is gloss black finish, very fingerprint prone. I'm just trying to spot the differences as a owner of the 2023. Right here, this wireless charger is a little bit rubbery finish, but overall this is very slippery. Very slippery. Overall it's the very same, it's like same exact car. I think that's very interesting. And this gloss black finish is very interesting right here. 2025s. And this model also has a rear sunshades that our car doesn't have. Doesn't have the optional vacuum / fridge, but it does have the 1500 watt inverter. No entertainment package right here. Yeah, overall everything is very similar. These are the 18-inch wheels. A little bit different in design. No more grooves around here. It's a little bit more like brushed texture here, but still all-wheel drive. This is the 18-inch. Overall, it's very similar. It's very similar. The rear, this one is fitted with the spare tire, so no ottomans in the middle row. 1500 watt inverter right here. But yeah, it's nothing to really report home on. But again, we have the memory seating here. In terms of the gloss finish, I'm not sure if the previous ones were like that, but the wood grain is brownish, and this one is not brownish. This is gloss black. I think a little bit of cost cutting. This one is matte versus the XSE, our car, which is gloss black. They don't have a cover for this one anymore, which I think is weird. Is it cost cutting? And you can see a closer picture at the limited power push stop button is no longer blue. So they did do a couple cost cutting, I guess, to make up for the head unit. That's much bigger. I wonder if you could retrofit this. Cluster is overall the same size, but digital. Well, very similar. Interesting. I find that I think this one has a digital rearview mirror as well, because the mirror looks a little bit different. Unfortunately, I do not have the keys. Yeah, this looks nice. If I recall correctly, I think we do have USB-C A's in the older models. Now they converted everything to USB-C. And also in the rear, it's all USB-C as well. This does have the JBL sound system. And that's about it. That's just a quick look at the 2025 models. All right. And as far as I can tell, that's the difference. A little bit closer look at the stitching. This is brown. I think this is really weird. The overall cluster right there on the dash, under the shelving, it's all gloss black. Yeah. And I think I think there's two mics now. One mic here, and then there's another mic over here. Unless I'm wrong, but that's another mic. And that's as much as it could tell. All right, guys. All right, now I am in an Odyssey right next door. And just a comparison, the Odyssey looks like it's a little bit more lighter inside. What I like about the Odyssey is the seats, the Magic seats. I think I'll rather trade the Magic seats for the Sienna, but the Sienna has a super long slide. So with the Odyssey seats, I'm not sure if I could push this back, right? I'm not sure if I could push these seats back, but I know that the 8-seaters in here comes in handy, and you could go ahead and remove the middle seat or remove any of these seats versus the Sienna. It has a flat floor like the Sienna, right? Rear entertainment system, much bigger screen, I think. It has a rear view camera for the cabin watch. So each minivan has its own pros and cons. I think the Odyssey has much better cubbies, right? It does. This is the Elite trim, so this is the top fully loaded. I think it's nice that they have a pass-through here, right? But I think the bridge is also pretty nice too. This one has this is the 2025, so this is a more refreshed model. They have a brand new, upgraded infotainment system, a little bit less dated, but still, I think it does need a major refresh on the exterior. I think, in my opinion, call me biased, but the Sienna definitely looks nicer on the outside, much more sporty. I find that for me, the one thing I want in the Odyssey, from the Odyssey, are these seats. And I find many, many uses to have these go sideways and back and forth. But the Sienna takes the cake when it comes to the super long slide, because we're used to pushing the girl's seat back and then kind of getting in the seat and helping them get ready. Or with the super long slides and the captain's chair, we have a little bit more space in the middle. Sure, you could take this away, and this also comes in really handy when you have 7 passengers but you need 8 seats, or when you have 8 passengers and you need 8 seats. I think the seats are nicer. I think it has more piping, perforations. I think these are ventilated and heated as well. Transmission is electronic selection. Cup holders are pretty abundant, but I don't think as much as the Sienna. This one does have the V6 with the VTEC. It's an older engine, less gas efficient, but it's tried and true. I think this is nice on the outside versus the Sienna that's all matte black. This color is in competition with, is this the Sonic Pearl color? Found in the Civics? Not sure. But this one is in competition with the Sienna Platinum. So this one does not have the vacuum anymore. Let me see. Fully MSRP is $50K, 52 with everything. with the destination handling. 22 miles per gallon versus a 35 estimated in the Sienna. You do have a power outlet, but it is 180 watts versus 1500 watts. So this doesn't support as much. I think it should go ahead and power a vacuum, right? But instead of overhead air conditioning, AC vents, you have one right here pointing directly at the passengers. You do have USB-C at the end as well. You have side heated mirrors for defrosting. You have vents, you have shade as well, I think. Third row shades. Yeah. I mean, again, each minivan has its own options, has its own pros and cons. The vents here versus vents on top. Yeah, I could definitely see myself in an Odyssey as well. I could see the pros and the cons in an Odyssey where the girls would enjoy. I think it's much more airy, but instead of the bridge and the in terms of the armrests, the Odyssey has its own personal captain's chair armrest, pilot seat armrest in the front versus the bridge where you can rest on the center console. Lockable glove box, not felted inside. Some fake wood, plastic. Yeah, overall has armrest here. Then you can fold this down, I believe. Yeah, I think you can fold this down. And then you just pull it. I can't really do it with one hand, but yeah, that's very interesting. All right, guys, so I'm on my way back, and overall, just to sum up the experience, the 2025 Siennas are exactly the same, except for the interior. I find that the biggest upgrade, again, seeing from everything online, will be the infotainment system. Not really so much the digital cluster. I find that the actual analog cluster works just fine. But the one key change that I would pretty much wait for if you're on the 2024 waitlist will be the 12.3-inch infotainment display, the newly upgraded one, right smack in the middle. I think that's a huge upgrade in the end. Is it worth upgrading from your 2021 models and so forth? I definitely don't think so. But if you want to go ahead and upgrade from an LE model to like the Platinum or the Limited, yeah, that's really up to you. But again, Siennas are still a scarcity. There's still a wait list. They are ramping up production, but I mean, they're still charging about $3,600 over MSRP at that Hillside Toyota. So definitely keep that in mind. If you don't mind waiting, maybe 2025, they're gonna go ahead and catch up on the production models. But in terms of the production numbers, eventually it's gonna go ahead and catch up. But as of right now, Siennas are still selling like hotcakes. They're sold. That model, particularly the limited trim, was already sold by the time I got there. All right, so we are back home. Just for reference, let's go ahead and take a look at the 2023 XSE. Now, for the XSE, it's all black versus the wood grain, but this is the stuff that I'm talking about right here. This is the textured feeling that I think would give it more of a more secure type of placement for when you have objects in here, especially the phone. The phone, we have like a ridge here to prevent it from sliding. I think the new one has a different type of, it's like kind of like all black, gloss black, if I can remember correctly. And then this part is a little bit more of a rubber resistant, like rubber slide resistant, so more of a rubber padded. Right here they have wood grain in the Limited versus the this part right here in the XSE. And as I remember correctly, they have a flat black now for the power button versus this blue button right here. We have more of a gloss black versus the matte black on the steering wheel. Overall, I think the seats are basically the same. This is the XSE 25th anniversary with the black leather. the limited one has it as well. I believe the newer models like the XSE and the Woodland has blacked out trim here. They also have the blacked out trim in the front, so they're removing the satin chrome right around here, so they blacked it out, right? I think the limited and the platinum, they do retain that particular chrome trim. We do have the rear entertainment system here, so there's nothing really to report home about in the rear. Since this is the XSE trim, we don't have the third row window shades. I just want to make sure that, yeah, so I think, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but they do have an extra microphone on the 25th anniversary, I mean, on the 2025. So right now we have the XSC, so I'm not sure if the limited trim in the previous year models have an extra microphone up here, but our car does not. And overall, the most obvious reason to upgrade to the 2020, I mean to wait for the 2025s if you are in a wait list for the 2024s, is this particular infotainment system. Definitely more dated. All right, you have your buttons here versus the non-buttons. You have the analog / the multifunctional display, multi-information display in the middle. So that's not digital at all, but overall everything is the same, right? You have your bridge, your console, silver trim, or like kind of like silver trim accents versus the brown. I definitely think that they should have went. This is here is matte silver, matte graphite. Excuse me, I'm sick, but this is like, you know, versus the gloss black on the limited. And I think it just really clashes with black here, like the black and the limited. Black here, gloss black, and all of a sudden you have wood grain right there. So I think you might as well just stick with the gloss black. But I definitely do think that I like the textured feeling more than the smooth gloss black with the fingerprint magnet. So I think that's something different. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if the video is helpful or not. On that note, home, this feels good to not being stuck in traffic, and I'm still loving the Sienna. The Sienna right here is one of the perfect minivans, perfect travel vehicles, perfect overall everything. Do I wish we had an Odyssey with magic seats? Would I want to trade off for the sliding super long slides? I think I prefer the super long slides. But that's about it. All right. On that note, good luck to everyone else on the wait list for the 2025s. Definitely by now, even if you're waiting for a Sienna, definitely I think you're probably getting the 2025s anyway. So enjoy that new infotainment system, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.